What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Friday, May 17th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 12:44 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from California. So, if you didn't see my live stream last night, we had some major breaking news come out yesterday evening that Russia was planning to launch missiles off the coast of California, and apparently the impact area of the missiles is going to be in the Oakland Air Traffic Control Oceanic Flight Information Region. Okay, so Russia is going to be firing rockets or missiles towards California, and the missiles or rockets are going to splash down into the ocean right off the coast of California, guys. This is unheard of. I've never heard of anything like this in my entire life. This is extremely provocative and extremely concerning. What if this is a disguise for an attack on America? And how do we know that Russia's planning to do this? Because there's a NOTAM, a notice to airmen, that went up yesterday for this area off the coast of California. There were also some NOTAMs warning pilots flying from Hawaii to North America and from North America to Hawaii that Russia will be launching missiles into the Pacific off the coast of California. And what you're looking at here is a screenshot of one of these NOTAMs. It says here the Russian Federation plans to conduct rocket firings impact area within the Oakland Air Traffic Control Oceanic Flight Information Region. It's going to happen daily from 2000 to 2300 hours, and it started yesterday, and it's going to go all the way until the 26th. So every day since yesterday through Memorial Day, they're going to be launching missiles off the coast of California. Okay, the Russians, these missiles are going to be landing somewhere off the coast of California. This is huge news, guys. And this is why we had all the Skymaster messages on Wednesday. I covered that live as well. We had a flurry of Skymaster messages, which are the highest priority nuclear attack options broadcasted to our nuclear forces. And they were broadcasted Wednesday evening. And now we know why, because Russia's going to be doing this. And here's a picture showing the area where the rockets, missiles, or potentially guns are going to be fired into. This is the impact area right here. Okay, this red rectangle, this is the Oakland Oceanic Flight Information Region. So the missiles are going to be splashing down into this area here, as you can see, a good distance off the coast of LA and San Diego, but still relatively close enough that our nuclear forces are going to be stressed out over the next 10 days. And maybe Russia's doing this on purpose to stress out our nuclear forces and give NORAD something to worry about and focus on while they launch their big attack on the Baltics and Poland, and maybe do a huge offensive against Kharkiv and in Ukraine to try to take the entire eastern half of Ukraine all the way to the Dnieper River. Maybe this is just like a giant distraction for our forces to focus on. They're also going to be launching missiles into the Barents Sea. So they have exercises scheduled for the same time period from May the 16th through May the 26th, every day from 1600 to 1900 hours Eastern Time. Okay, so that's going to be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time every day. Since yesterday through Memorial Day, they're going to be launching missiles into the Barents Sea and off the coast of California. Okay, this is very, very serious. Now, this morning we had a flurry of emergency action messages. I'm going to continue to monitor them the rest of the afternoon, but we had some emergency action messages that went out to tactical units. And basically, what that means is they're sending nuclear attack options to bombers. Okay, tactical units. Let me play a short clip for you so you know what it sounds like. So they're going to read off an alphanumeric message here, and it's coded. These are nuclear attack options. And then how we know that this is for a tactical unit is they say like 4 Kenna. Kenna is the name of the tactical unit. So they say 4 Kenna, 4 Kenna, and then they say the message. So let's just listen to this.
7 Kilo Papa Bravo Bravo November Charlie Echo Charlie Papa Whiskey. I say again 4 Kenna 4 Kenna 6 Victor Charlie Juliet.
So there were like probably 5 of these messages in the past hour, but you can hear him say 4 Kenna, 4 Kenna. So that's the tactical unit this nuclear attack option is being transmitted to.
Say again 4 Kenna 4 Kenna.
Okay, so our nuclear forces are on high alert. Now, in addition to all of that, we have major breaking news coming out today that Latvia has published a war preparedness manual, a survival manual for their citizens. Check this out. Okay, and this comes just about a week after the Polish defense minister told his people in Poland that you need to have a bug out bag to prepare for various types of contingencies. Okay, so here you can see this survival manual in Latvian. Okay, and you can see here they have a Latvian armored personnel carrier standing here with a rifle. Okay, so this is not for any kind of natural disaster. This is a war preparedness manual, okay, for Latvian citizens. This is very, very serious, guys. And I want to show you all this activity we had last night over Poland and the Baltics. Here we have a B-1 strategic bomber that was airborne last night just north of the Black Hills. Very unusual to have one of these flying around so late at night. This thing was flying while I was live streaming last night. We had 2 Polish Air Force planes go down to Adana, Turkey this morning, which is very strange. And at the same time, we had this U.S. Navy VIP plane fly from Ramstein to Riga. Now, Ramstein is the largest military base outside of the United States. Okay, there's over 50,000 U.S. active duty military personnel in Ramstein. And this U.S. Navy VIP plane went to Riga. This update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you got to use the link preparewithnYprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. But this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It includes over 2,000 calories per day, breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks, all contained within 6 rugged, water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. So use the link preparewithnYprepper.com to get $200 off or 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply. The link is in the description below this video. Free shipping is included. They also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running various discounts. And to get to their general store, you just got to click on the My Patriot Supply logo when you get to preparewithnYprepper.com at the top of the page, and you'll see their general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running discounts here. So use the link preparewithnYprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. the capital of Latvia. We've seen a lot of these VIP planes going to the Baltic countries the last 2 days with generals and probably some high ranking military personnel besides just generals. And here we have a British reconnaissance plane flying along the coast of Crimea. This was late last night, so potentially we could see more attacks on Crimea tonight. Last night there was a massive attack on Crimea and also in the Krasnodar region of Russia. Ukraine sent over 100 drones towards Russia. They hit some ships in the port of Novorossiysk, and they also took out one of the largest refineries in Russia as well. But more on that in a couple of minutes here. Here we have some more NATO activity over Poland last night. You can see an aerial refueler looping over northwestern Poland. You can see 2 British Eurofighter Typhoons, and then also a Black Hawk flying over southeastern Poland. And then here we have more aerial refuelers. We have also a German cargo plane going to Kaunas. Now, why that's concerning is that Kaunas is where the largest NATO base is located in Lithuania. Okay, there's a massive NATO base in Kaunas in Lithuania, and we had this German Air Force A400 Atlas go there. Okay, so they're moving equipment into Lithuania. They're scrambling, trying to move equipment there as quickly as possible before Belarus and Russia invade. They want to make sure they have everything in position. But look at all these flights here over Poland, more aerial refuelers over Warsaw. These aerial refuelers have been flying in these areas like this for the last week or so. They usually have 1 or 2 over Warsaw and then 1 or 2 near Poznań, which is where the Powice Air Base is located. That's like the most important air base in Poland. That's where the U.S. had F-22s in Poland stationed there. And they also had B-2s land at Powice at one point. And here we have 2 British Apache attack helicopters that were flying over Estonia last night. Here we have multiple military cargo planes going to Lithuania, 1 going to Poland. Okay, 3 military cargo planes operated by NATO going to Lithuania and 1 aerial refueler going to Poland. Okay, so they are reinforcing Lithuania as quickly as they can. I'm telling you guys, Belarus and Russia are going to make their move, and it's going to happen this year. And Israel's representative to The Hague said that Hamas has developed a tunnel system in Rafah, including about 50 tunnels that cross into Egyptian territory, and Israeli hostages are being held there. Wow. So that makes a lot of sense for Hamas to hold the hostages in Egyptian territory because they feel like Israel would not dare go into Egyptian territory to try to eliminate them and free the hostages. So this could cause a war between Israel and Egypt, guys. Egypt has already moved banned weapon systems to the Sinai Peninsula, banned under the Camp David agreements that Israel signed with Egypt decades ago. So Egypt is massing forces in the Sinai Peninsula. And now we have this news that Hamas has 50 tunnels that are going into Egypt. So it looks like we could potentially have some kind of an escalation between Israel and Egypt. And we have an update on the Slovakian Prime Minister's condition. Apparently, he can speak, but he is very tired, and his condition is still very serious, according to Slovakia's President, Peter Pellegrini. And the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the U.S., General Brown, said that Washington and NATO countries are considering the possibility of sending quote-unquote instructors to train the Ukrainian military directly on the front lines. The U.S. general noted that there is a need to train 150,000 military personnel on the territory of Ukraine. Okay, so quote unquote instructors going to the front lines to train 150,000 Ukrainians. Yeah, I don't believe that. Okay, they're basically going there as officers to plan Ukraine's movements and attacks and things like that. So we also have France saying that they're going to be sending actually combat soldiers into Ukraine. We have Estonia and Lithuania volunteering their forces to go into Ukraine. So you see how when one country volunteers, it started with France. Okay, France said they were going to send troops. Then it was Lithuania. Then it was Estonia. Now it's the US. Soon it's probably going to be the UK and other countries. It's going to be just like with the tanks and then with the F-16s, and now it's going to be with the troops. Okay, we're going to see NATO forces fighting Russian troops in Ukraine. Okay, and I do believe that Putin is going to attack the Baltics. Why? Because in Putin's eye, Kaliningrad is as important to Russia as Crimea, and he wants a land bridge to Kaliningrad because Kaliningrad is geographically isolated. It's surrounded by NATO and EU countries. Okay, so Putin wants a land corridor to Kaliningrad through Belarus, and I think he's going to try to make that happen very soon. And Ukraine is preparing for a possible Russian offensive in the next few weeks, according to Reuters. Russian troops are increasing their presence near the border with the Sumy region. The Ukrainian military plans to defend the Kharkiv Oblast and Sumy Oblast, hoping to stop a possible offensive, thus protecting the cities from artillery fire and possibly moving the enemy back to the border. So Russia doesn't necessarily want to take over Kharkiv, although if they have the opportunity, they will try to. But they at least want to get within artillery range of Kharkiv and shell the crap out of it and make Kharkiv uninhabitable. They want to force the Ukrainians out of Kharkiv by shelling the crap out of it. And therefore, even if they don't take over the city, they don't necessarily have to take over the city and go door to door and take the whole city over. That's a very bloody and difficult thing to do. Instead, they can just shell the crap out of it, turn it into rubble, and therefore basically destroy the whole city, make it uninhabitable. And then that's the same thing as if they were to take it over anyway. Okay, and this is Ukraine's second most populated city. It is a huge economic hub. There's a lot of industry there. Okay. So, very serious situation in Kharkiv. Zelensky stressed in an interview with ABC News yesterday that the situation in the Kharkiv direction is very serious and that Ukrainian forces cannot afford to lose Kharkiv city. Zelensky argued that Russia will not be able to seize Kharkiv city if Ukrainian forces receive 2 Patriot air defense systems to deploy to the area. And the situation in Kharkov is difficult with intense fighting with Russian forces taking place. If the situation worsens, we will ask Poland for humanitarian support for this region, said the Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk in an interview with the Polish media outlet PAP. So, very serious situation there. We had some video footage come out on social media last night showing Russian forces capturing one of the main hospitals in the center of Vovchansk. That's that large town just to the north of Kharkiv. And the Russian propaganda outlet RT, citing a retired Israeli army lieutenant colonel, is saying that the Egyptian army is preparing for war against Israel if Israel goes into Rafah. And Ukraine launched a massive drone attack on Russia last night, potentially the largest so far since the war started. The Russian military claims to have shot down over 100 drones targeting the new Black Sea Fleet headquarters in Novorossiysk and one of the largest oil refineries in Russia in the Tuapse region. Apparently, this refinery has a capacity of 240,000 barrels per day, or about 3.5% of Russia's total refining capacity. They also hit some oil storage facilities in Tuapse as well. Russia claims to have destroyed 51 Ukrainian drones over Crimea, 44 over the Krasnodar Oblast, 6 over Belgorod, 1 over Kursk, and they also said they destroyed 6 Ukrainian naval drones. And a partial blackout occurred in the Russian city of Sevastopol in Crimea as debris from intercepted Ukrainian drones fell on a power substation, according to the governor of Crimea. And for all we know, that could just be a made up story. Maybe Ukraine actually hit a substation with an ATACMS. And we have fires now raging at 3 industrial sites in Novorossiysk. Apparently, there's a mining site that's on fire, a metallurgy plant, the Nava Ras Metal, and the cement factory, Cementny Zavod. Okay, so very interesting. And the Ukrainian armed forces launched an overnight strike on production facilities of a state-owned enterprise of the Russian defense complex Basalt in the Tula region. So looks like some kind of ammunition production facility in Tula hit by Ukrainian drones. And Russia expelled the British military attaché from Moscow as a retaliatory measure for Britain expelling the Russian military attaché, claiming that the Russian military attaché was spying on Britain. The British military attaché must leave Russia within a week, according to an official Russian statement. So, huge news, guys. Okay, more diplomatic isolation between NATO and Russia. Very serious. And NATO is reporting that fighter jets are increasingly being scrambled to intercept Russian warplanes approaching Allied airspace in the Baltic Sea region. Apparently, 2 Russian MiG 31K fighter bombers, these are the fighter jets that Russia uses to launch hypersonic missiles at Ukraine, were destroyed at the Belbek military airfield in Crimea 2 nights ago. So I'm sure Russia's not happy about that. And the communist president of Brazil, Lula da Silva, will not be attending the Ukraine Peace Summit in Switzerland. Already 50 countries have confirmed that they will be attending. And police arrested a woman after she was filmed waving a large knife at passers-by in the Jewish neighborhood of Stamford Hill, London. And the government of Serbia has approved a contract with Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner for the construction of a luxury hotel worth $500 million on the site of the former general staff in Belgrade. And Israel's finance minister announced a 100% tariff on all imports from Turkey. So, bad relations between Turkey and Israel. At least 4 people were killed in the Houston tornado outbreak yesterday, and 63% of Americans surveyed believe the government should impose regulation to prevent artificial intelligence from becoming more capable than humans and reaching super intelligence. Now, just 2 days ago, we had breaking news come out that the Air Force tested an F-16 that was fully piloted by AI, and in the tests, the Air Force found out that the AI could fly as good or better than F-16 pilots with over 3,000 hours of flight experience, okay? So this is a real-life Terminator scenario unfolding in our lifetime. And the Houthi rebels of Yemen allegedly shot down a 3rd American drone. And Lebanese media reported a massive Israeli airstrike near the coastal town of Najariya. And apparently, North Korea fired another ballistic missile yesterday into the Sea of Japan. And what you're looking at here is a picture coming out of Norway showing this massive buildup of NATO forces in Norway. And here we have a picture of these NATO convoys being moved in northern Norway. Here we have a picture of French infantry training in urban combat in Estonia. And here we have a video of one of the Ukrainian drones impacting the oil refinery in Russia yesterday. Wow, so that whole thing is on fire there. And then here's some kind of oil storage facility in that refinery that got hit as well. And last night we had an RC-135 reconnaissance plane take off from Stratcom headquarters in Offutt Air Base and go all the way down to Venezuela and Guyana, and then it turned around and came back. And this comes just a few days after we had some breaking news come out that Venezuela has moved forces to the border of Guyana after the U.S. flew F-18s over the capital of Guyana. So things are heating up down there. And here we have the flight path of a U.S. RC-135 combat scent plane that was patrolling the border of North and South Korea. And these combat scent planes are the highest priority reconnaissance planes operated by the U.S. They send intelligence information directly to the president and the top generals. And this thing was flying along the border of North and South Korea. So this is very, very serious, guys. And these planes in particular can pick up radars and radio signals and triangulate their locations, so they can use these planes to figure out where the enemy missiles are located, where the radar facilities are located, and to eavesdrop on radio signals, so they can listen in on radio signals and figure out if there's any upcoming attack planned or something like that. We also had a U.S. Air Force reconnaissance plane patrolling the southern part of the Taiwan Strait last night as well. So lots of activity in Asia. Here's a closer look at that reconnaissance plane in the Taiwan Strait. Here's a picture of the Israeli airstrike in Lebanon last night. Look at this massive plume of smoke here. Absolutely insane. Massive airstrike. We also had this U.S. Navy reconnaissance drone patrolling the Eastern Mediterranean like crazy last night and this morning. Okay, and it was flying for a while off the coast of Syria here. It was doing these loops here near Latakia and Tripoli. So I don't know if this means that Israel's going to be launching strikes on Syria soon, and they were collecting information on targets there in Latakia and Tripoli. We'll have to wait and see. Here's some video footage of these massive transmission lines outside of Houston, Texas, that were taken down by these tornadoes. Okay, look at this, guys. Absolutely insane. And as a prepper, I want to just talk to you guys a little bit about location. Okay, you never want to live in an area that is subject to extreme natural disasters. Okay, you don't want to live in Tornado Alley, which is, in the Plain States and also in Texas. You don't want to live in Dixie Alley either, which is in parts of the Deep South. They have a small tornado alley there as well. You don't want to live along the eastern seaboard of the U.S. because that's where hurricanes impact. You don't want to live on the West Coast because that's where you have a lot of strong earthquakes and volcanoes that could potentially erupt. So you want to avoid these regions where you have extreme natural disasters like this, okay? Obviously, you're always going to have natural disasters everywhere, but in certain areas, you have extreme disasters that, you can't mitigate, okay? So if you live in Tornado Alley, you may want to consider relocating out if possible. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight with more breaking news, so make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon down below so you get notified when I post these updates. And for some reason, Twitter unsuspended my account, so I'm back on Twitter now. I'm going to be posting these updates to my Twitter and also to my Telegram. So the links to my Twitter and Telegram are in the description below this video. And until later on, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere. Culinary out.